Close that.
All right, I will call. I'd like to call the December 2nd, Monday, December 2nd, 2024, meeting of the Tree Advisory Commission in session. Do we have approval of the minutes? Oh, we can't.
No, but you can vote. You can have a motion to defer the minutes.
Can I get a motion to defer the minutes for the next monthly meeting?
I'll make a motion to defer the minutes to the January meeting.
I second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Any public comments? Sir, what's your name?
Milton Leckie. I put an application in to have a tree removed next to a lamppost that Municipal Services put up. Tree is dead on the top. And it's in the way, it blocks the light from the street.
Remember this. We discussed this at our last meeting. What's your address?
159 Casimir Drive.
I believe, let's see. I believe we voted and approved on the removal of that tree, yeah. Motion to approve removal of the tree. It's a Bartlett pear or Bradford pear located in 159 Casimir Drive. And the appropriate species be replanted within a reasonable distance from the lamppost. All right, so that was a motion and was approved.
Okay, there's not going to be a tree replanted. That was wrong. When I put the request in, it was just to remove that tree.
Okay. We had discussed the possibility of replanting a tree, not at the same spot, but a little bit down the road from that. Just to replace a tree, it's nice to replant a tree. It doesn't have to be, it's not gonna be at the spot that you have a tree right now.
Okay, see, if you plant it further up, then it's on the other person's property.
Okay.
161.
All right, so we'll look at that, but no tree will be planted before we look at that very carefully, and we'll talk to the other owner as well. But for your sake, so when we approve these types of removals, we forward it to our public works team. And then they put on their list of trees to remove.
Okay.
So I can't tell you exactly when it's gonna happen, but it was approved to be removed. And it should happen at some point within that, during the winter this time.
Okay.
So,
That's it for me then.
all right.
Thank you.
Well, thanks for coming out. Any other public comment? Mr. Lear, do you have anything to say?
I was just wondering what's going on with the Bartlett and the spraying of the.
That was, I forwarded that to Mr. Delgado and also to our new city administrator. I have not heard any results of that. Whether they looked into it, but I'll remind them, so I'll make a note.
Does that one have an application number?
Yes. That was,
Well, that was the ones being sprayed for emerald ash borer.
Oh, Ashburn.
you're referring to the gentleman that was just here, right?
Oh, no, I've got him.
Oh, you
I
got
was actually referring to
Oh,
the ash borer trees.
Yeah.
but the discussion was about the trees that were being sprayed that we feel like don't need to be sprayed, many of which have died already or are dying. But that was handed over to the city to look at, but I will remind them to look into it a little closer.
I have a comment.
Are you allowed to?
Remember last month, we were looking at this resolution concerning distribution of funds.
Yeah.
And you asked if we needed to have somebody like the council or anybody else approve it. And I contacted Suzanne Souter and she said, no, that since this was an internal division of the funds, we can do whatever we want with it. So We don't need to have a resolution approved by anybody else. I'm not even sure we need a resolution ourselves, truthfully, but if we wanted to do it, if you wanted to do it, that's the tack.
Well,
We could do it, you could do it, just among the members here.
Well, we voted on that concept and we all approved it.
Oh,
So I believe,
no, we didn't actually vote on it.
I thought we had.
No, once I read it, you said it sounds good. We should bring it to the council or something like that.
Well, motion was approved, presenting the draft of presenting, so we approved the present, so you did that part, so now we have to just. We have to let our person who's controlling the budget take care of dividing it.
Okay.
Once we get a
When
new,
that person is.
we get a new
part of the
treasurer,
commission.
tree advisory treasurer,
Yes, yes.
and.
Let's
start-
hope we find somebody like, or you find somebody like, anyway, okay.
Well, we're hoping that you come back.
Well, yes.
All right, so,
Can I ask a question,
Yes, sir.
Mr. Lear? Or Norman?
Norman,
Okay, Norman. Where the ash borer trees, where the ash trees are that are being treated?
we have a list.
there's a list and we,
Could you give me maybe like an example?
I couldn't because I,
One outside, right out in front of the sheriff's house. Actually,
Okay.
that's the easiest one to find.
Oh, sure, okay. Yeah, I just thought I'd take a look.
There was one at 54 East, 54 East Fourth Street, and they took that down.
Oh, that's the Purple House.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then they removed that one, and I thought they were on a roll because it seemed like they were gonna start. But obviously it did not happen. So I did notice a couple stumps were ground in town.
By the library particularly.
Yeah.
So they did have a stump grinding company come in. I asked for a report for Mr. Delgado. I did not receive any report about the progress. I'll pursue that again. Forward it to you all, see where we are, where we're at.
does that come out of our budget on a yearly basis?
The amount of money that we got is, yeah, it's annual. Is that what you mean?
No, that
It's
we,
not
there's
yearly,
our share that we have to pay for the treatment of the trees.
Oh, yeah. It's
I thought it
been,
wasn't yearly, it was like every 30, I know, oh, no.
no, please.
I thought they said it
Yes.
wasn't yearly, it was like it's a sort of every couple of years they do it. Is if my memory is that's.
Well, I
the
thought
case.
it might have been a 2-year cycle, but did we pay it this year?
Yeah, well,
In-
last year.
They
Last
paid in
year.
last year's budget.
All right, so you just would want to resolve it before
Next.
they stuck us for
Right.
that amount again. And
I
I mean,
have-
we looked at all the trees, because Ron had pictures of them. And I know the ones I've seen that were more than half dead, so it was just like,
Yeah, I will, I have the invoice from Bartlett. I have a copy of that. So I'll make copies for everybody, or I'll email it to you.
okay,
I'll look at it more. I didn't bring my green book today, so I can't look it up. But I'll forward the list of the trees for you, so you can see I think we had 6 total. At one point, one's down, so we now have 5 left.
yeah, but there was like 4 that were alive, there's 2 at, what is it, Harmony and Second?
Oh, yeah,
I
right
thought.
near Walcott's house.
Yeah, and they were good, but there's 2 on your side of town that
Oh,
are,
yeah, or on 5th or 6th or something, was it?
they're on Fifth,
Yeah.
that are totally dead.
Remember.
And then there was one that was a Zelkovo. We couldn't figure out why they were treating that.
Because nobody's watching.
Well, yeah,
We didn't know about it,
I know.
or I should say TAP didn't know about it.
Okay. Okay, old business and tabled applications. Lillian Shu, 17 West 4th Street. That was a stump grinding, it was on our stump grinding list. I didn't go over and see if they had done it, but it's possible that was taken care of.
It's still a small stump.
Yeah,
It's
still
about-
there.
About this big.
I think they're very cautious about removing it, so I would say that's not happened yet. And then I did not get, I asked for an estimate for the 104 West Sixth Street. That's application 2024-13 Fred Wright, pruning request, and I've not yet to see that either. So those two items are gonna have to carry over till next month. Application 2024-27 David D'Angelo. 308 Moore Avenue. The pruning request, we discussed this last month. That actually should have been an old business item because we had already, so that was where the six, I think there's six cherry trees. There's a picture of it in here.
They're not on his property though, right? I mean, they're down the street or something. I drove by there today and I didn't even see them.
I think we determined they were a city property down.
They're on 14th Street. I
We
think
saw
his house faces, yeah, I did go by there. His house faces, he's on Moore.
his
Moore's
address
Lane.
is more, yeah, here's the pictures are out
If
there,
you turn left in front of his house, that's 14th Street
right here, on this side,
on his side of the street,
or down here.
what I call the tree lawn. That's what we used to call those.
Okay.
That's the one
City.
they said they were blocking the view of the stop sign.
Oh, no, that was the, oh.
No, he's the lamp, the street
He's the
lamp.
land guy, yeah.
Stop sign. He was concerned he couldn't see the stop sign.
They start at the corner and then they go.
And I believe we approved that they be trimmed.
Right. And Scott was gonna supervise,
So I'll have to,
because apparently he had done it before.
yeah, oh, that's right, Scott said he had supervised that before, so that's 308 more. Carry that over to January, but I will talk to Rick about the trimming.
We actually tabled it last month.
Okay. I think we were all gonna go look at it. I believe that, I think, the reason I didn't, because Scott said he was going to. So I'll go look at that as well. Application 2024-28 Mitzi and Chris Buchanan.
Excuse me, did you want to do application 2021-12 under old business?
Oh, goodness, yes. Yes,
Is that good
application,
from 2021?
that was, yeah. So, yeah, apparently, okay, so application 2021-12 Rod Miller, 124 East Third Street. He has submitted multiple applications for the same reason. He wants to have his tree removed in front of his house.
He's also 24-29.
Yeah, so somehow that got duplicated. I believe we discussed this. Yes. Oh, no, we just forwarded it to this agenda or to this month. Yeah, I had actually discussion with him. Since we removed the tree across the street, he was concerned that he had asked for his tree to be removed 3 years ago. And it still hasn't happened. The tree itself is overhanging the street in front of his house, and apparently it had been trimmed at one point off the roof, but is now back on the roof. So has everybody been out to see it?
Mhm.
I have not.
I actually at this point feel like we could remove the tree to resolve this issue. But I'd like you all to look at it as well. Any questions or comments? I would like to make a motion that we remove the tree at 124 East Third Street and replace it with a better tree for that placement, that area. Anybody second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So approved? All right, so. Okay. And that's all our applications for tonight.
Not
Do we have-
Buchanan, 154,
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I did.
158.
Yeah, it's application 2024-28, Lindsay and Chris Buchanan, 158 East Third Street. I went by there today. It's a completely open area. There's very few, any trees in that area. So I think it would be a great place to plant a new tree for them. So I just, at this point, we don't know what our inventory is, so we can't promise a specific tree until we order some trees for the spring. But I make a motion that we put them on a tree planting list for the spring, based on what trees we are able to get for that time period. Can we get a second?
I second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Could you pass this down? Okay, do I have permission to put this information?
I give this
Okay.
common citizen
Okay, all right.
permission to. do
Okay,
this.
so, I got, communicated with Diane Delgado today, and, she says our opening total, which is to the upper right, is 21,191.83. Now, that is before the bill from, what's his name? Brandywine Valley Services,
Yeah,
still pending. That is for 2650, and that's in the removal and maintenance column, as you can see there. Already, we've done plant 1,840 in the planting column. So, altogether, if you include his bill, which hasn't been paid yet, it's $8,840, and 2650 away from our total. But we haven't actually, yeah, this 21,000 includes the 8,000. So the total at the end of the, if we give him the 2650 is the 18,541. Now, if we're going 15,000 to each, where is I had one that had actually, oh yeah, there it is. Okay. So of the 15,000 for the planting, we've already spent $8,840, which means the remainder that we have for planting is $6,160. And the remainder that we have for maintenance, if we take away the 2650, and also Diane says there's an estimate for the grinding of the stumps from Paul also of 1705. That altogether is 4335. This is what we've committed, kind of, although the grinding, I suppose, could come out to a different total. So of the $15,000 for the removal and maintenance, there's $10,665 left. This is sort of because Diane says that we have to pay for the, you know, whoever's sitting out there in the front of the police station, just for security. And she doesn't know how much that is because they get paid their grade or whatever it is by the hour. So she doesn't really know. She has, I guess, hasn't gotten the bill from them yet. So we have to take that away too. But this is pretty much where we are here. $16,863.83. Still of our 25,000, is that what it was? No, 32,000. And this is how much we have left. And I'm sorry, I'm not an accountant, but I'm trying to put this as clearly as I can. Does anybody have any questions? Oh, okay, good.
My question would not be toward you. My question is the 2650. Have we seen a bill for what that's for? Do we even know? what
Yeah,
that-
he did. It was some trimming, I guess, that he'd done quite a while ago. He'd started it and then he'd gotten sick. So I'm not even sure he's finished it yet. It was a bid we put out quite a while ago.
And that
and
was
he hasn't-
Brandywine Services, right?
Yeah, and he hasn't gotten paid yet because he hasn't submitted a bill, which to me says he hasn't really finished it yet, or else he would be submitting a bill even if he were sick. But he has submitted that's a Brandywine estimate for grinding that's upstairs, 17.5.
That's the same company.
Yeah, so I don't know. He must be independently wealthy, doesn't want the money. I don't know what the reason is that he hasn't submitted his bill yet, but
I don't
that's
think
what,
he's done the job.
yeah,
That's why I'm asking.
Yeah.
I believe I have a copy of that invoice. Very hard to read though. I'll have to go see Diane, see what he knows about it.
okay, it says, Paul from Brandywine Valley Services, he has to give me the invoice for trimming. He had started at the beginning of the summer. He had a health issue, so it slowed him down. The bill should be $26.50. He also gave me a quote for the stump grinding, which is $17.05.
All right.
So again, I'm not sure he's finished the trimming, but it was the beginning of the summer, so it's a while ago.
I'm gonna ask Diane for a copy of that invoice
Mhm.
so that we can see what.
Well, it
What
might not be an
addresses?
invoice, it might be the estimate, you know, that he gave, and then he hasn't actually submitted the invoice yet.
Okay.
But anyway, it's, yeah, she'll have that. That's my report.
Excellent job. Thank you. All right. Discussion of spring planning plan. So we as a commission have some things that we need to do coming into this winter pre-spring season. And please jump in and add to the list, but we need to survey the existing tree pits that we have in the city to get an idea of how many trees we need to plant.
Existing tree
So-
pits.
Yeah,
That's
where
what-
we
yeah.
have removed trees and then there now are empty pits.
I know there are a couple of those on East
Yeah.
Sixth Street, yeah.
And there are a number throughout the city. I just don't know the number. So we need to do that. We also need to look through our applications. We've had many applications the last couple of months that we have said that we would plant trees when we had trees to plant. So we need to get an inventory of those as well. So then we can get a basic idea of, what we're looking for spring planting. We then need to go and meet with the people at Gateway to order the trees or discuss and, plan on what trees we want to get. And order, as many as we can to try to complete that, the tree, we're now into what we were calling the 5-year plan. So we're still working on the 5-year plan, mostly on the west side of the city and, filling in the empty tree pits as much as we can. With an inventory of both the empty tree pits and the trees where we have said that we would try to replant a tree, we'll have a number. And it may be an impossible number, or maybe something we have to chunk out, do X amount this spring and then X amount next fall. But it's time, right, Norman? Start getting together, getting our ideas about what we should need to order and, you know, when do you place an order for a spring delivery? How soon?
By August 15th.
By August 15th? Oh, so we already missed it.
Yeah, I mean, Gateway has an existing order in. It just, if you're looking for trees now, it would be if they were still available. But yes,
Okay. So then we need to talk to Gateway first, to find out what you have, or what you have coming in.
well, what we have personally ordered is for the garden center. It's not there's no trees or tack.
Okay. So in the past, that would have happened in August.
Yes, because they'll put out the availability in July and the deadline is this year it was August 15th.
All right.
But now there's still some trees available. But whether it is any on our list or not, I would have to look.
Okay.
So what's the deadline for fall planting? Do they have,
It's the same.
you have to do it a year ahead of time, year and a half?
No, August 15th is for the fall and the spring. So it's 24 and 25
Oh, okay, so next August for fall,
for next fall.
for next fall?
Yes.
Okay.
So this summer, the best thing we can hope is that you have some trees available.
Well, I mean, it's really, you're not planting all of one kind, so there should still be some availability between Schmidt, which is where we get most of them, and then Garden Gate, which is right around the corner from Schmidt. But, yeah, I mean, tomorrow.
Right. Well, then. To jump on what we can. See.
So I might suggest that you look at the ones you committed to replacing. And then it would have to be determined what was gonna be put in there and go with that, cause how much,
The tree pits you're talking about?
Yeah, do that as a priority.
yeah,
$6,160.
No, he's saying with the,
no, well, that was the second question. So that's probably, and I'm just guessing at that, between purchasing the trees and planting them, 10 to 12 trees that you could do for the spring and with the money in your budget.
so we need to look at what trees we've promised.
Well, that's you, but
That would make sense.
you know, unless you wanted to,
Have we always I'm sorry, I'm acting like a member, but have we always gotten a request for planting? Because I know Ron sometimes said so-and-so said he would take one and he would take one. And I'm just concerned that it's not gonna be easy to find out which ones we've committed.
It's usually comes in the form of an application,
Good, okay,
so we should have record of it.
okay, good.
And
And we can find those in the minutes?
yeah, we'll have to go through the minutes or.
Okay.
So we can work on that.
Since when, do you think?
I would think for at least a year back, anyway.
Okay.
Okay. So in the future, we need to have our order in by August.
Is it the same date every year approximately?
We got spoiled.
mhm.
Yeah, he said the 15th.
Yeah, I mean, they'll put it out sometime in July, the availability. And the deadline this year was August 15th.
All right, so we'll work on that. I think we still would like to see what tree pits we have out there, what our tree pit
Sure.
inventory is.
It's smart to know that, right?
And then, so we can plan better for the future. I know we have some at the farm, but I don't know if they're any good at this point.
There are some, I know there was 4 that went there this fall. And out of the ones from, I guess it would be the spring. Or maybe even last fall, there was a number of buck rubs. And we did plant one I guess we planted it in the spring, but we replaced it this fall.
All right, I'll need to run over there and see what we have. Anybody want to volunteer to do the tree pit inventory?
I would.
You will do the pits or you'll do the,
Well,
Amendment.
if you'll do the pits, I'll do the research on the
all right,
applications. Like, when you get reappointed, you can help me with that.
okay.
No rush on that, Ed, but
Can you give me a little direction, basically from Chestnut to south, from the Strand to?
oh yeah, I would go,
uh,
I don't think
14th?
there's much on the Strand, but I would go like, when I did it initially, I did the Strand, Second Street. Go Second Street all the way down to like Fort Casimir, come back up on Third. You know, just follow the sequence.
Okay.
But we don't go past the library. Well, actually, that's not true. Sixth Street is,
Sixth and Delaware?
yeah, Sixth and Delaware. I mean, we do have
Sixth
that.
and Harmony?
And then Sixth and Delaware, right? And then on your side of town, we did a lot of work on Fourth and Fifth, right? And then, I don't think any on Third.
I'm not sure there's many pits left, though. I mean, they
Yeah,
have a lot of trees.
I think Fifth has a few down near the tennis court area, firehouse area, so.
But not Shawtown or Van Dyke Village, for example?
No,
Probably not.
not right now. I think our 5-year plan was to focus on the city
Historic district. yes.
historic district.
There are some really older ones on Sixth Street. I know I've got like an obsession about Sixth Street, but
Wow.
I remember it was so beautiful when all the trees were there and they allowed them to get taken down, but the pits still remain.
Yeah.
You know, for them, so.
Okay.
All right, so the next item is the extended watering. So we had extended watering because of the heat and how long we had heat into the fall. And now we're in the winter, but now the problem is we have water bags out there still. They need to be, I would say, they need to be removed. Some of them still have water in them, and they're gonna freeze. So I will work on getting that done.
Glad to help out if you need.
Yeah, I mean, if it comes down to the fact that I did some of it last year. So see if Rick can do it. If not, and we'll have to jump in and
Where are they stored?
over at the carriage barn. So I will ask and see if the city will do that. If not, then I'll put out the call and
Okay.
I'll have to start working on it. Okay. Any miscellaneous comments or questions? Anything we didn't talk about that we need to?
I have a question as a member of the public. What about that Third Street? Remember I told you there was a tree hanging out there? I don't know if anybody's taken a look at that at all. It's a young tree. It looks like you could just like climb it and it would come down, you know, so,
Where's it at?
it's Third and right by right by the David Finney Inn there.
Oh, there we
On the
are.
west side. And it's like I said, it's a young tree, but it's obviously been damaged in some way. And it's on its way down. Or it's going to be like this over the street.
I think what we need to do is, would you be willing to submit an application?
Sure,
Then we have that on the record.
sure. Would that be removal? Or it looks like you could almost move it over and put a stick there and it would maybe go back.
A red bud?
I don't know what kind it is.
I feel like it's
It's skinny and it's,
on a
yeah,
hawthorn.
I don't know.
Well, there was a couple there
Yeah.
and I know Ron and I looked at them and we were like, it's reaching for the sun because of the height of the building there.
I don't, well, you're probably right as a person who knows what you're talking about, but this tree is like this. And there's really no sun anywhere there. You know, so if it's looking for the sun, it's not gonna find it. So I just think something happened to it. It looks like something happened to it. It's
Yes.
really leaning,
It's a pretty severe angle.
yeah.
Well, how about we all go look at it and then
Okay,
we'll, you can still submit an application.
I will.
Then
I'll
we'll
put in
make
an
that,
application, yeah.
we'll look at it and make a decision about what we think we should do. All right, anybody have anything else to add? Questions? Any questions? Anybody want to make an motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion that we adjourn the December meeting.
Give it a second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
So approved.
Okay.
All right. Thank you all.